fun take for you guys. One question I've been getting a lot is about ordering produce. How do I buy produce in bulk? Wholesale prices, those kinds of things. So this is talked about in the ebook. Check out below. I'm not going to edit this, so if Riverbug screams or something, plug your ears. Talk about in the ebook how to open a juice shop. We get tons of business questions. I put them all in an ebook, and it's kind of an all-in-one guide on how we open this shop here. Real numbers, real everything. Just kind of a look into, you know, this whole thing. So linked below is that if you want to check it out. There's also one for how to open a juice truck if you're considering doing that. And then there's a bundle if you want to get both the ebooks, you can do that as well. So that is linked below. Now, talking about buying produce. Like I said, this is talked about in the book, so expect more info in there. But in general, looking back on our journey, so to start, we obviously just bought at local grocery stores. I'd highly recommend you just kind of go to all the grocery stores, write down the price. Kale was $1.50 a bunch or $2 a bunch, and kind of check them all out. Prices are going to vary greatly depending on the season. They're going to always be changing. But that might give you a general idea if one is like significantly cheaper or more expensive. It can kind of give you an idea of where to go from there. And shopping at the grocery stores, you know, sometimes our grocery stores pricing per bunch or something like that, or per pound, is very similar to what our wholesale provider is giving us. So don't automatically assume, you know, it's going to be way more expensive or cheaper either way. Now, places to avoid are probably like Whole Foods and those like high-end grocery stores. A lot of them use the same suppliers. So they're getting produce in on a big truck, they're buying it in bulk. And a lot of them are, like I said, the same exact suppliers and prices. It's just a matter of how they're marking them up is going to be different. So you might get the same exact produce at, say, Kroger, and the same produce at Kroger and the same produce at Whole Foods. So take that into account. Once you outgrow, you know, buying produce from your local grocery store, and that's kind of like, meh, there are positives to that. For example, no waste. Or very little waste. Sometimes when you buy in bulk, you know, you get a big box of something and it molds or goes bad before you can actually use it, which can happen often depending on, you know, how much you're buying. You know, you order 3 cases of apples and you don't get to the last case in time or something like that. Most wholesale providers though will deliver, some of them, it depends on your area. Some of them will deliver, you know, every day, others once a week. So depending on where you live, the more rural you are, the less frequent it's probably going to be. Along the lines of finding a wholesale distributor. So for us, we found ours by, I asked our local CSA provider who works with a lot of local organic farms. And I said, you know, if I can't get it from you guys, who is a good option? Because here in Ohio, we obviously can't grow like citrus and things like that. And he referred me to, you know, a wholesale produce distributor who had conventional produce and organic. And you know, I contacted them and said, this is who I am. And at that time we were operating still from the truck, so we were at home, and they were fully willing to deliver to a home address. Some will be, some won't be. It just depends on kind of who you're talking to. A lot of questions I get, the answer is like, you just have to reach out and talk to them. You just have to test the waters, do some research, and keep trying until you find the answer, basically. So yeah, they deliver to our home once a week, but I think we had the option to do twice a week. And now with the shop, we have a different supplier, and our previous supplier went out of business. We found our current supplier just by talking to a juice shop that's about an hour away. And we had kind of shared some secrets with each other, and they told me who they use as their produce supplier. And usually there's like a product minimum or a purchase minimum. Maybe it's $250, maybe it's $500. Usually there's some kind of minimum though. And you'll just place your order and they'll deliver to you. And it pretty much always comes in like 50-pound boxes, big boxes of apple, big boxes of kale, big bags of carrots, and you have your produce. So that's kind of how we found ours. You can just research in Google, you know, food distributor, wholesale food distributor, organic. Nowadays, most have conventional and organic because organic is so popular. Another option is to go to like your local grocery store and camp out and try to figure out who is delivering to them. And you know, usually their box trucks and semis are clearly marked with the produce company, and then just send that company an email and say, hey, you're already delivering to my area, will you deliver X? You know, I need 4 boxes of apples, this and that, to my storefront, shop, home, whatever. So just a lot of communication and reaching out and looking for your local wholesale delivery people. There's quite a few, I don't know, I've heard like GFS is a pretty national one. I've heard that they can have organic, I don't know, but that could be a place to start. Maybe look at GFS, as that's a pretty common food distributor. Yeah, I hope that helps. I talk about this topic more in the ebook, but it really is as simple as just finding your local, there's usually quite a few, and especially if you're in big cities, there's a lot. Wholesale food distributor, you know, reach out, say what you need, what you use, and they'll send you a price list. Sometimes it's like we're only in your area on Tuesdays at 8 a.m. Like, you know, sometimes there are like strict things, but that's how ours works. There's nowhere local where we can go to like pick up food, like a wholesale food market. But I do know that those are available in bigger cities, so that could be an option too. Probably my biggest tip is to avoid kind of bougie grocery stores like Whole Foods, because their markup is just going to be so high, and you can get the same produce just at a normal grocery store. You know, you're paying for the experience kind of there, and quality, but a lot also experience. And then a lot of people also ask like pricing. How do you price out your menu? I'm not making enough money, etc. This is all in the ebook. You just need to follow your percentages and know what your product costs are, and then mark up appropriately. And if your juice costs $10, $11, it costs $10, $11, and that's just that. And if you can charge $7 or $8, you know, it is what it is, and do not make a product just try to just like compete with another company when you might be paying your customer to drink your product. You know what I mean? Like you have to make money. So just figure out where you can cut, what you need to actually charge, and make sure it's appropriate, or else you are just throwing money out the door and this isn't sustainable and you're gonna be out of business before you could even imagine. So make sure your numbers are right. That's what business is. A lot of people get, you know, emotionally involved and they wanna, no matter what, kind of do this thing. And the reality is you have to make money, or else then it's just a hobby, and that's a different category. So check out the ebooks below. I promise you they'll be helpful, full of information, and good luck to y'all starting your juice businesses. Don't hesitate if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer. And follow us on Instagram if you're not too, at JK Juices. We post a lot on there. Okay, Riverbug is crazy. This is my son, River. He's a wild man. Ew, sorry for the drool. You guys probably don't want to see that. Gross. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!